Hi everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing our stretching exercises. So we're going to get some meditation music going here. Be sure that you do have some water with you. You can take hydration breaks anytime that you like, anytime that you need to. Please go ahead and do that. Stay hydrated. Also make sure that you have a sturdy chair to do these in that's not going to roll or move around on you, preferably without armrests, all right? And then also sturdy shoes if you need that. If you need to have that support, please go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and get started with these. So, of course, please remember if you need to stop, take a break, modify, work at your own pace, whatever you need to do to make it work for you at your level, all right? So let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to begin by just lengthening the spine. All right, and begin by reaching all the way up. Inhale and exhale out. Good. Let's just get our breathing deepening a little bit here. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open the chest. Good. All right, this time when we reach up, stretch all the way up, lengthen the spine, reach the fingers toward the ceiling, and then you're going to lean to the side. Nice stretch for the side of the body. And lean to the other side. Just move gently into it. Stretches should always feel good. Let's do each side one more time. Just make sure that it feels like a comfortable, nice stretch for you. You can push into it a little bit more if it feels good, but don't ever force it. Always should feel, stretching should feel good, should feel pleasant. All right, let's go ahead and come back to center and gently take a hold of the elbows. Now, if your shoulders have any pain or problem, you can just go ahead and skip this one, but if they're feeling okay, we're just going to stretch the shoulders gently back here, and then release it all the way out and down. Go ahead and roll those shoulders front to back. You've got my cat yoga t-shirt on today for you. Our cats and dogs know how to do yoga, and they certainly know how to stretch. All right, so we're always going front to back on these. Let's go ahead and windmill the arms. We're always going front to back so that we open through the chest and shoulder, and we want to do that so that we don't reinforce that posture where we're rolling the shoulders forward and hunching forward and bringing the head forward. We want to reverse that as much as we can. So we're going to go ahead and do front to back here. Nice big reach. Good. All right, one more each side. Okay, and then just gently circle through your wrist, just nice and loose here. And circle the other way. And then relax the arms down. Now, for the tension that we tend to have in our neck, we're going to shrug the shoulders up, and then when you come down, press them all the way down, palms towards the floor. Make sure you're releasing all the tension out. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, release. Good. We're just going to do one more of those. Inhale. Exhale, release all the way down, completely relaxing the neck and the shoulders. All right, from here, let's do some neck stretches. So first thing we're going to do is what I call turtle. So you're going to pull your head back so it's sitting squarely over your shoulders, like a turtle pulling into the shell. Now, most of the time, you'll feel a fairly strong stretch there, and that's because we tend to have our head in that forward head position, like so. So we're going to do that again. Pull it back into turtle, head sitting securely over the shoulders. Remember, your head is like a bowling ball, and you want to let your body support it instead of your poor neck being strained trying to support it. Release it out. We'll do that one more time. Now remember to breathe. Make sure that you're breathing evenly through the whole thing. Good. Release that out. All right. Try to keep the head back as much as you comfortably can. And then from here, nod the head up and down. As always, comfortable range of motion for these neck stretches. If you need to do partials, that's fine. Good. And come back to center and ear to shoulder. Now, if you want to lightly press on the side of the head and press the other palm down to the floor to deepen the stretch, you may. That is an option. If that's too much, just go ahead and tilt the head toward the ear towards the shoulder. Work at that level that's right for you. Let's do the other side. Same thing, start with ear to shoulder, and then if you want to deepen it, just a gentle press on the side of the head, other palm pressing down towards the floor to stretch through the neck, upper trap. Breathing, and release that out. All right, so neck circles, again, just go through your own comfortable range of motion. If you want to just do the bottom half of the circle side to side, that works fine. If you're feeling good about circling the head all the way around, that's fine too. Just make sure you're going both directions. And breathing. And then we're just going to pause in the center here for a moment, making sure that the shoulders are pressed all the way down. Chin towards the chest. From here, we're going to go into our cat pose. So keeping the chin tucked down, bring your hands to your knees. And now we're going to let that back round. This is your seated cat pose. We're going to go into camel. Inhale here. Now exhale as you flatten out the back. Elbows down to the legs, forearms down to the legs. Little arch in the low back if you like. And then we're going to move back and forth between those two. Inhale as you go into cat. Exhale as you go into camel. So we're just going back and forth. This should feel like a really nice stretch. It's very gentle, rounding and flattening out. As always, stay in pain-free range of motion. If you have any reason not to arch the back, then just go to neutral. You don't have to force yourself into any kind of uncomfortable range of motion with these. One more. Very good. All right. Slowly roll all the way up. We're just going to turn to one side using the outside of the leg for leverage. Turn and look over your shoulder. Make sure that you're still breathing. It's easy to forget. It's easy to concentrate and end up holding your breath. Let's go the other way. Turn, look over the shoulder, hold. Good. Come back to center and then just loosely side to side. Now shoulders are relaxed down. Give yourself a little bit more dynamic stretch here. All right, very nice. Let's go ahead and do some lower body stretches. So first one we're going to do is our inner thigh stretch. So we're going to step out wide. Remember that when we do this, we're going to lengthen the spine and hip hinge forward rather than rounding the back. So lengthen the spine, hands on the legs, and then just keeping that natural curvature of the back. Keeping the chest up, lean forward. If you want to lightly press on the inside of the legs, you can for a little bit deeper stretch, but don't worry about how far you go down into your stretch. The important thing is that you feel the stretch. So again, we're not going to round the back or the shoulders. We're just going to keep that nice neutral spine. Okay, slowly come all the way back up. Very good. All right, so let's step in, and we're going to move a little bit forward in the chair now and bring one leg forward. So first thing we're going to do is lift the toes up towards the knees. Raise the other hand on the leg and reach for your toes. It is completely okay to bend the knee to reach your toes. Just do the best you can, but if possible, and it's a little bit easier if you have shoes on, you'll get a little bit more traction there, but try to lift the toes up so that you're getting your calf stretch. And then as you lean forward, you're getting your hamstring stretch. And just kind of relax into it. Again, you don't need to force yourself into it. Just breathe. Try to let yourself gently go a little bit further. And then you're going to release out the toes and press the sole of the foot down to the floor. So now we're stretching the front of the ankle and the shin. Just bracing there. Good. All right, let's go ahead and come back up, and we're going to circle from the hip. And if you like, you can hold under the leg for support. Change direction. And then we're going to bring that knee up. Go ahead and hold on behind the thigh, behind the hamstring. Bring that knee up, and then just circle your ankle. Change direction. Good. All right, go ahead and release that out. Now we're going to extend the other leg forward, so starting with the hamstring and calf stretch. Again, sitting tall, lift the toes up towards the knee. Bend that knee as much as you need to. See if you can reach your toes. Try and get a little traction there so that you can lift the toes up towards your knee and then bring the chest down towards the leg. Breathe. Just very gently try to sink a little bit deeper into your stretch if you can. If not, that's fine. Hamstring and calf stretch here. Relax your neck. All right, then let go of those toes. We're going to do our shin in front of the ankle stretch. So again, sole of the foot is pressing down towards the floor, stretching right through here. Brace if you'd like to. And then come back up. All right, let's do our hip circles. So again, if you want to hold underneath the leg, that's fine. Change direction. All right, now bringing that knee up toward the chest again, holding behind the knee, behind the thigh. Circle the ankle. Change direction. And release that out. All right, so let's go ahead and move back in the chair here. Remember to take a water break anytime you need it. And we're going to do our figure 4 stretch, our hip stretch, and our kneeling lunge stretch. Our seated lunge stretch, excuse me. So starting with this leg, remember that your modification, if you're unable for any reason to bring the foot up, if it's too much stress on your hip, the modification is just to go ahead and cross at the ankles, and then the rest of the stretch will be exactly the same. All right, if you are able to bring it up, go ahead and bring that foot up onto the other knee or the ankle onto the other knee. And then just like when we were doing the inner thigh stretch, the adductor stretch, we're going to make sure that we're not rounding or hunching forward. So we're going to sit up tall, lengthen the spine, and then just start to come forward until you feel that stretch. So you're going for that outer hip area, that outer glute, okay, and then outer thigh as well. So you might need to experiment with where you are exactly leaning forward. Generally right in the center is best. Sometimes people will hip hinge forward and then not realize they're actually rotated to one side or the other. So make sure that you're in a position where you feel that stretch there, and just like before, just gently go into that stretch. Breathe, relax your neck, relax your shoulders. Good. This is a really good stretch to do every day. And don't worry about if you can't get the knee down or you can't lean very far forward. Anything that you can do is going to help you feel better to stretch that area out. It's a very, very common area of tightness. Okay, let's go ahead and sit back up. We're going to move into our kneeling lunge stretch. So for this one, we're going to scoot over to one side, and keep in mind that you don't have to bring the knee all the way down. All right, so if you're a little bit on the shorter side, the knee does not have to come all the way down to touch the floor. You're still going to get a nice stretch here through the quadricep and the hip flexor. Go ahead and hang on to the chair if you need it there for support. And then we're just going to go ahead and add a little side stretch to it. But your primary stretch here is the front of the thigh, quadricep, hip flexor. Now go ahead and bring that stretch forward. We're going to move into our tabletop from here. If you continue to need the support of the chair, go ahead and keep hanging on. If you're okay without it, come back. Go ahead and stretch both arms forward. Good. Now you're going to give yourself a little bonus hug here if you're able to let go of the chair with both hands. And then just release that out. Good job. Let's go ahead and take a hold of the chair, bring that leg back in, move to the center, and we'll do that hip stretch and the kneeling lunge stretch on the other side. So again, starting with either the foot up on the opposite knee, or remember your modification is crossing the ankles. Sometimes you might be able to do one side but not the other. Completely fine to do the modification. All right, and then again, we're going to make sure that we're not rounding, we're not hunching forward. We're going to hip hinge forward. So you're going to keep the back lengthened out. Again, don't worry if the knee is up high or you can't get very far forward. Just lean forward as much as you can. Again, you're going for this outer area of the glute, outer thigh, piriformis area, call this the figure 4 stretch. And again, this is a really good one to work on every day, especially at the end of, if you've been exercising, walking, doing yoga, lifting weights, anything where the muscles are warm. That's a really good time to do this one because it is a little bit more intense stretch. And just slowly breathe and try to lean into your stretch. Try to relax into it as much as you can. You can even do this multiple times if you want to. Release out and then go back into the stretch a few times. That's fine too. If that feels better than holding for one extended stretch. Excuse me, I need some water. Okay, a little bit of dry throat there. All right, so let's go into our kneeling lunge stretch now. So we're going to scoot over off the side of the chair. Again, knee does not have to come all the way down to the floor. Just go ahead and move the leg back as far as you need to get the stretch in the front of the thigh. These hip flexors, psoas, tend to get really tight from sitting, so make sure that you're getting a stretch in that area. And then we'll add that reach up and over. Good. Now going into that tabletop stretch, starting with the free arm forward, and then if you're okay letting go of your chair, go ahead and do the other arm as well. Shoulders relaxed down away from the ears. And come back up and give yourself another hug. That's good. All right, come back to center. Take a hold of your chair. Bring that leg in. We're going to switch back to the first side here, and this time we are going to extend that leg out to the side. So right here, I know that you can't see my foot all the way out on camera, but I'm going to turn the inside of my foot down towards the floor. So we're doing just a slight outward rotation, this hand bracing on the leg, and we're going to go back into that up and over, but this time we're going to rotate back and look up towards the hand. It's a little bit deeper stretch there. And then just across on the diagonal. So stretching through the upper back here, across on the diagonal, and we're going to wiggle the fingers here as well. And then come back up. Good. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. So again, we're extending the leg out. Inner part of the foot is down on the floor. Start with the reach up and over, and then we're going to add that rotation so that we're looking at our hand and looking up toward the ceiling. As always, modify these if you need to. If this is a bit strong of a stretch for you, you can just do partial range of motion, or just take a pass on it if you need to. All right, let's reach across on the diagonal. Nice stretch there for the upper back, and wiggle the fingers. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and step back in. Before we go into a few standing stretches, we're just going to roll the shoulders again, front to back. Breathing. All right, so I'm going to do a few standing stretches. Of course, if for any reason that you are not comfortable doing those, we will have chair support, but if you're not comfortable doing those, you can just skip past those or go ahead and do as similar of a stretch as you can in the chair. Stay hydrated. And if you're ready, let's come up to standing. All right, so first one that we're going to do is our cat-camel in the standing position. So it's very, very similar to the seated one. We're going to have the hands on the top of the chair. Make sure that you do have a sturdy chair that's not going to move, shift, or roll on you. And then we're going to take one step back with both feet. Again, we're rounding the back. In this case, we're tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone, so that we're rounding the spine for cat pose, and then for camel pose, or sometimes it's called cow pose. Flatten the back out, press the hips back, and either neutral or arching that low back, depending on what feels right for you. You can also step out to a wider stance if you'd like a little bit more stability. And then we're just going back and forth. Round and This should just be a really nice stretch. It shouldn't feel like you have to strain anything. It should just be comfortable for you. Keep breathing evenly through it. Always comfortable range of motion for yourself. Good. Just one more time on this one. All right. From here, we're going to go into one of my favorites, which is the modified downward dog. So instead of having to do our downward dog all the way down on the floor, we're just going to keep a hold of the top of the chair. Again, make sure that it's solid. It's not going to move on you. Now you're going to take another step back with both feet so you're further away from the chair, and you're going to press your hips back. So the goal is to bring your ears down by your arms, press your hips back, press your tailbone towards the wall behind you. Try to get a stretch, lengthen the spine, stretching the shoulders, the back, the hips, the hamstrings, and the calves. This is what we call the posterior chain of the body. And again, it should feel like a really nice stretch. And then very slowly come back up. Make sure that you're not standing up too quickly. Slowly come all the way back up. And we're going to grab the hands around behind the back. Rotate the shoulders back. Just a gentle lift here. And then we're going to do another ear towards the shoulder. Again, just comfortable range of motion. It should feel like a good stretch, but not overstretch. Do the same thing on the other side. If it's a little bit too much, you can release the hands out from behind the back at any point. Come back to center, and then chin tucking down towards the chest. Good. All right. Go ahead and release those arms out. Shake them out. I'm going to move around to the side of the chair just so you can see our next one a little bit better, but please feel free to just go ahead and stay right there behind the chair if you prefer to. This time we're going to take a split stance, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So we're going to begin with our calf stretch here. You have the chair there for support always. You've got a nice wide split stance there. Toes are pointing forward on both feet, and the key to this one is the back heel is driving down into the floor. That back leg is going to stay extended, and then we're going to bend that front knee. If you need a little bit more stretch, you can scoot that back foot back even further. Make sure that you're breathing, just keeping the torso up on this one. Chest is up, chin is up. Now we're going to lift that back foot, lift the back heel, and then bend the knee, not the whole foot. Just lift the heel, bend the back knee, and now we're going to tuck that tailbone under. So we're going back to that quadricep hip flexor stretch here. Again, chair for support as much as you need it. And if this is too much of a stretch, you can just repeat the seated version anytime you need to. All right, let's go ahead and extend those legs out again. Now, if you need to adjust your foot position, go ahead. We're going to go into a warrior one pose here. So, starting with one arm reaching up toward the ceiling, you still have that split stance. So this is going to be a little bit more of a balance challenge. If you're feeling okay, go ahead and let go of your chair and look up towards your fingers. Lift the chest. Again, it's going to be a little bit more of a balance challenge. And then slowly, we're going to walk the hands down towards that front foot. Now, always keeping the head above the heart. So never dropping the head below the heart. We don't want to get dizzy or lightheaded, but you can walk the hands down towards the foot. Again, chair support either here or here if you need it. And then slowly going down into your stretch. Make sure that you're breathing. And slowly come all the way back up. Good. Step in. Shake the legs out. All right. One more. We're going to do right here is just shifting the weight over and see if we can bring the knee up. Now, if this is a little bit too much for you, go ahead and just skip this one. But if you're doing okay, we're just doing a little glute stretch here. and release that out. Okay, let's go over to the other side, and we're going to go through our same sequence on this side. So beginning with that split stance, we have the inside foot forward, the outside foot back. Again, you can do these behind the chair if you prefer to. I'm just going to do them here so that you can see a little bit better where my positioning is. So we're going to start with that calf and Achilles stretch. So great big step back with that back foot, driving through that back heel down into the floor. Then go ahead and bend that front knee. Again, if you need to scoot that back foot further, go ahead. Torso is up tall, chest is up, shoulders are back. We're breathing. All right, now moving into our standing lunge stretch, we're going to lift that back heel, lower that back knee, and then tuck the tailbone under. Again, if you need to modify and do the seated version, that's fine. So you should feel a very strong, fairly strong stretch, not super strong, but a decent stretch there on the front of the thigh. Again, when we sit, we shorten up that psoas, and so we're reversing that here. Breathe. All right, so let's go back to the split stance. Adjust if you need to, toes pointed forward, and we're going to go into that warrior one pose. So we're reaching the outside hand up first. Then if you're okay with your balance, go ahead and add the other one. If not, continue to use your chair. Look up towards your hands and lift the chest. Make sure that you're breathing. All right, good. Let's walk the hands down towards that front foot. Again, if you need the chair, either top or seat, go ahead and use it. Otherwise, moving down, head above the heart, just coming to a comfortable stretch. You're going for that hamstring stretch here. Chair if you need it. If you feel off balance, better to use it if you need it. All right, slowly come back up. Step in, shake the legs out. All right, let's try that glute stretch on this side. So again, if this is a little bit too much for you, you can either just skip this one or do it in the chair. We're going to shift the weight over and then try to bring that other knee up to stretch that glute. Go ahead and use the chair on this one so you're safe. All right, very good. Okay, so I would like to finish with some sun salutations. Please feel free to do these behind your chair for the most support. I'm going to do them in the front of the chair just so that you can see me a little bit better. Let me scoot back. All right, so you're going to be standing with the feet about shoulder width apart, and all we're going to do is reach up as we inhale, lengthen the spine as you reach toward the ceiling, and then as you exhale, forward fold, letting yourself just relax down. Head above the heart as you come down, but see if you can relax that lower back. And just gently sweep the arms across in front. Inhale as you reach up. Big deep breath. Exhale as you forward fold. Again, try to relax the back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to remain down at the bottom. Head above the heart. And just let your lower back relax here. You can sway a little bit side to side if you want to. And then slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Good. And when you get all the way up to the top, once more, let's just roll those shoulders front to back, always opening through the chest and shoulders. Deep breath in and full breath out, and make sure that you continue breathing deeply throughout the day. A lot of times we forget to do that, and it's so much better to keep us relaxed and de-stressed if we can remember to breathe correctly. All right, let's finish off by just shaking out the arms and the legs, and then loosely moving side to side. And that's it. You did it. Great job, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do remember to like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. That helps with the algorithms there so that more people see the videos. Also, follow and like on my Facebook page, Body Image Fitness. That would be helpful too. Send me a message if you have any trouble finding either one of those. And anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.